Dear listeners, welcome to Out of Office. So, yeah, Alan, welcome to the LTS OOF Installment 3.
What's going on, Marcos? Thanks. Bro, we're back at the cooler, bro, at the water cooler. Let's get some drinks. Let's talk our thing, and let's see where this conversation takes us tonight.
So, personally, let's go with tech. I want to talk about the RodeCaster Pro version 2. It's been officially announced.
Okay.
Yes.
You basically, what was it, an article, a video, or you were reading it on Reddit? 2 places.
Reddit. I have a thread for different, podcasting products, different audio hardware, tech hardware.
Okay.
There, I got announced there. I'm like, nice headline, bro. You called me to you. You've attracted me.
Yes.
And then a YouTuber announced it yesterday, the 27th. Today's the 28th, right?
Yeah, today's the 26th, actually.
Oh, what?
Oh, I'm sorry, the 28th?
Oh, I'm a day ahead.
Good Lord. No, good Lord. I messed up.
But yeah. And they posted this video on the 27th. I'm like, okay. And there you have me there. Just this is like ASMR to me, the review. And they said, warning, this is the beta version hardware. Even the hardware model. This is the not a finished design. So you could get a different hardware, different looking hardware, and different looking firmware. But if it's different, it's obviously going to be better. But
right.
They're gonna get his feedback of this YouTuber guy. I forgot his name. Is it on the conversation? Or what's his name? Let's see. It is Steve. No, what is it? Where is it? It is YouTube. Where is this guy's name? Initial walkthrough. Do you see the name of this guy? No, right?
No.
Doesn't say. But well, anyways, this guy said like this is just a proto version, so don't you worry about it's only gonna get better.
Okay.
And I'm excited.
So what like little bells and whistles does this one do that the other one doesn't, or what does it do better that you're thinking of like buying or purchasing?
First, it's smaller, at least 20% smaller.
More compact?
Yes.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it has less features. In fact,
okay.
It has more.
Yes. Tell me more.
Let's see. And it's more like the original one didn't have an LED screen, a touch screen. This one does. Version 2 does. It has automatic presets for different microphones and for general condenser and dynamic microphones. What else? It has instead of having the sound pads that you can trigger sound effects when you push those little square things, now they're called smart pads. You can assign them and you can do multiple things. You can do podcasting, obviously. You can do music production, and you can do streaming.
Okay.
So some of the things is that it's a more enclosed package. The original version 1 could do this, but with driver updates in a roundabout way. It wasn't meant for that. It was specifically meant for hardware. The hardware was specifically meant for podcasting. But people's at Rode were listening to their buyers, to their customer base, and were asking for drivers. They were noticing that their customers were using it for this through feedback. Probably some videos on YouTube that were saying, oh, this is my workaround using the RodeCaster. I do this, and this. It's not clean, but it works. I'm like, okay, let's put in some software and make it easier for you guys.
So a lot of the bells and whistles are baked into the product now, right?
Yes,
so you have to do less of jumping through hoops and stuff. Okay.
And what else? During streaming, you know how we wanted the Elgato the buttons thing. What was the name of it? the one that you can just press and it'll change different scenes, put different sound effects while you're streaming. Well, that feature,
a soundboard,
not a soundboard, like a MIDI pad or something like that you can put in a buttons, literal hard buttons that look like a little pyramid or something, like a square, and you could do scene selection, scene changes, sound effects when you're on a live stream. That got baked into the RodeCaster version 2.
Okay.
And for music production, you can the RodeCaster used to be you know how you have this is not an ad or not sponsored, but you know how you and I use the Scarlett audio interfaces?
Yes.
We have XLR combo jacks, right? The feature of an XLR combo jack is that not only you can use XLR connectors, but you can also use 1/4-inch jack connectors. Every single port on the RodeCaster version 2 are combo jacks. Back in the day, they used to just be single XLR ports. What else? Everything LED for streamers. If you want to color code your faders, it has one less fader technically. So you know what faders are, like bringing up and down, like the volume, all rockers, if you will, that let you bring down and up and down the volume, like physical switches. They have one less of those. There used to be eight of those, but now there's 6 technically, but there's 6 more digitally, if you will. So technically it has more lines, ports that you can assign different things digitally via Bluetooth. The Bluetooth receiver has been upgraded to the whatever version is presently right now. You know how you and I and Mr. J use fat heads to sometimes amplify our microphone's noise strength.
Right.
Well, with the new RodeCaster V2, you don't have to anymore. It's right now to the maximum theoretical limit in hardware that is available right now in the market.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they're like, you don't even need a fat head or a cloud lifter or whatever product. I'm like, okay, talk more, tell me more. Soothe, you sweet soothsayer, keep talking more about your hardware. And what else? Let's talk hard numbers. You know how right now, guess how much for sale the RodeCaster version 1 goes for?
Let's see. Maybe I want to say between $300 to $400.
$499. The original one, version 1.
Okay. So I'm guessing then the new one is between $700 and
$599.
Really? Okay, that's a pleasant surprise.
For $100 more?
Yeah, I would have thought that the price hike, the jump would be a lot steeper, but I guess not. Is there a reason?
No, it's just that they've had their production line already streamlined for this for years, easily for years, and they just have it down with version 1. They just we can make it smaller actually and give it the present materials that we have to produce the audio interface / multi-track / MIDI / stream deck. Right. Oh, it's called a stream deck. There you go. From
I see. Yes. Stream deck. Okay.
And it has like 5 different things, and it's 16 times more powerful in the hardware and drivers, the step up voltage, the capability. Still with the good things that the original one had, like you can record your podcast natively with a SIM card, with a SD card in the interface. Yes. You could do that as well, and also you can plug in two computers now directly onto the RodeCaster, like your streaming computer and your gaming computer that you're gaming. And you can manage all the audio outputs, everything on the RodeCaster, and probably even record it if you wanted to, or record it with OBS on. on the game computer and or the streaming computer.
Okay. Well, so just for $100 more, you get everything, all those bells and whistles baked into the actual product.
And this is like beta, like almost like a beta final version, almost like the semi-final version.
Okay.
They just sent this model, a production model that's not yet for sale, but they already have a price tag on it to
so people can test it out.
Yep, and give feedback.
Okay, that's actually pretty smart.
I haven't heard. Have you heard that like on any other hardware? I thought that this would have been more like, oh, hush, hush, don't talk about it. But I find it very bold, if anything.
Well, I think they're playing to their strengths, right? So they're basically, at least I think, they're trying to throw the kitchen sink. Well, that's not the correct choice of words.
It could have been the kitchen sink 4 years ago.
No, but you mentioned earlier that they had feedback from real customers, people that actually liked the product.
Yes.
The first iteration, and just wanted to give their feedback, whether it be through comments or videos. Right. And they gave them a lot of information, useful information that would potentially better the second iteration of the product that they're potentially making, right? So
yes,
I think that they're doing things the smart way, not only taking a lot of the cues from the customer, but allowing people that are heavy into using products like YouTubers that use
music
products,
production teams,
people that actually use products like they're offering, and allowing them to not only stress test it, but see how useful it is for the size that it comes in and the power that it ultimately offers, right? And then from there, they'll give their 2 cents, and then they can work on those things and see if it's obviously viable to do something or tweak it to where it's something that people are going to say, you know what, I have no problem not only wanting to buy this, but actually recommending it to other people, because it's just an all-in-one package type of thing, and you would be dumb not to buy it. I think that's very smart on their behalf. We'll see how it goes, because obviously, it's a work in progress, right? But I think it's a step in the right direction. I think ultimately. What do you think, Marcos?
Well, mind you, they've also pushed out driver updates throughout those 4 years to the version 1, and they've been satisfying the needs of their customer base, or that mind you, they've already purchased the hardware. But
how often do they do their driver updates though?
I doubt that it's periodically, because you can't turn over some software like it's no big deal, right? So there has to be a turnover time, and then there has to be enough of a base of people more or less complaining about a feature that's missing that you can input digitally. And throughout those 4 years, they pushed a lot of updates, and they've helped. But now, recognizing that the hardware version 1 is not enough, and they know that the market has changed, they want to, with the reputation they bring of version 1, to bring in, bake all those features in automatically into version 2. Probably have that as their base for future firmware, specifically firmware, because hardware itself, like you were saying, naturally anything that's hardware, specifically technology wise, is it loses its value, like it's because it's wear and tear, like a car, anything, right? It loses its deflationary, if you will. So they know that anybody that's been using, and even if you buy a RodeCaster Pro used, it's gonna have internal wear and tear that you and I can never imagine. Like my laptop, my phone, it heats up, it naturally, it's metals, it's plastics, it expands, it shrinks with the temperature. So this can slowly cause it to wear and tear to the point that it'll break, right? It's failure point. So with version 2, obviously this is going to be millions and thousands of cycles of using the audio interface. Version 2, it's fresh straight out of the factory, knowing they probably had lab tests of version 1 to the breaking point. Okay, we got this information. Let's get our engineers or our lab workers to work on different materials to make it stronger, to last longer, and probably even make it cheaper, and modify the production process on the back end. A lot of technical things that just make me foam in the mouth.
No, I hear you, bro.
This is my other dojins, my IRL dojins, if you will.
Things that just make you say
or
oh, hey now.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate it. Like, this is just capitalism at its finest.
No, yeah, definitely, bro. I mean, take a product that people really enjoy, get feedback, tweak it, put it back out there for people to, digest it, play with it.
They get feedback
get even more feedback.
It's just job security. It's just, it's a cycle that you guarantee. It's a small niche, obviously. I think, isn't it Rode, I think it's Australia, a native Australian company. It gives them job security for that company.
Oh, I didn't know they were from Australia.
I think it's Australian. Let me, hold up. I have the microphone here. Hold up. Sorry for the noise, for the handling noise.
You're good. You're good.
I'm going to turn on my flashlight. Hold up. I'm turning around my microphone. It is, let's see. Made in Australia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, made in Australia. I have the pod mic. So, yeah, it's made in Australia.
That's dope.
But yeah, so it sustains their economy, their job security, and all those things.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you? Like, what, and this, more or less titillates me, if you will. Technology titillates me. Titillating technology. That's a title right there.
Yeah, no, it's something, all right.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, I was actually gonna tell you, these 3 weeks that have passed that we haven't uploaded or recorded, there's been a lot of information, a lot of electronic information or technology information. I think one of the ones that I remember, not too much in detail about, but I do remember watching a video from, I think it was Max Tech, someone we've talked about before on the podcast, on YouTube. They were talking about how Apple was getting into the video game or the handheld video game market.
Apple Stadia, if you will.
Yeah, basically. And the console, I mean, I've seen renditions of what they're trying to put out.
Their concept, if you will.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like a mix between like a Nintendo Switch or like a throwback PSP almost. So I think it's interesting. I think it's something that could be potentially not earth-shattering, but great competition for companies that are in the space, like a Microsoft, or even, how Samsung has some sort of alliance with Microsoft where they're offering, their Xbox games on
especially
Samsung.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, and being that Google is the operating system for Samsung and Android phones, they offer, maybe not the most robust type of video games, but they're trying to put out, certain games that have that quality, that playability with your handheld, right? With your actual phone, which is great and all. But I think there's still, obviously that tweaking like Rode is doing with their equipment and their hardware. You're going to start seeing these things maybe additions, like maybe not a Joy-Con for your iPhone, but
I think
some
that's
sort of,
trademarked. I think
yeah,
that's
no,
trademarked.
yeah, but something along the lines where it either in a package, some sort of package deal, you buy your phone and it comes with that because you have like a 3 months free of whatever, you know, gaming system. And I do believe,
service, yeah.
yeah, and I could be wrong, but I do think that Apple is, and don't believe me, this is just, you know, something
This is cooler talk. This is cooler talk. Don't. You're in a safe space.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I do believe that Apple was talking or in talks about purchasing EA Sports, if memory serves.
Yay!
So, I mean, we can definitely Google it if you want, but I know for a fact that Microsoft earlier this year purchased Activision. So,
Call of Duty brought to you by Apple?
No, Microsoft Activision and Apple EA Sports. So, again, take that for what it is and with a crazy grain of salt.
With the biggest bucket of salt.
Right. So, I mean, where that leads, I have no idea. Will it equate to better gaming, more accessibility on more devices, or potentially a greater divide of people that, and again, there are people that love gaming on master race, you know, PC master race, or they opt for having a actual console, right? Whether it be a Xbox, PlayStation, or funny enough, listening to another person we talked about on the podcast before, Reggie Casual from The Casual on YouTube.
Yeah.
He was explaining about how Nintendo did its homework and noticed that at some point that competing with Sony and competing with Microsoft in the gaming space could be a win-win solution for them, because they saw that people that bought either or would still want to buy a Nintendo console, and they took that idea of saying, okay, so why don't we make something that doesn't compete with them on a surface level, but competes with them in the sense of like it's an addition to whatever they have, right? So they're looking at it where, yeah, like I like playing the Sony exclusives on, you know, the PlayStation, or the Xbox exclusive games on the Xbox. But, you know, in between all that, I do want something else, you know, a little spice to the gaming that I do. And, you know, voila, Nintendo presents the Nintendo Switch, something that's in between where you can dock it and play it on your TV, but it also offers that portability that you can actually take with you.
That's spicy meatball.
Yeah, bro. So what they figured out was that, according to data that they, you know, their homework that they did, they basically figured out and found out that a lot of people that bought either or would also purchase a Nintendo console, or whichever it was at the time, whether it be the GameCube or
the Wii.
The Wii, right? So what they saw was that, yeah, competing with them head on like this isn't gonna be profitable, and it might not be the smartest thing to do. So why not we pivot and do something where we price our product at a comfortable price point for a person that they can just add it to whatever else they already have or own or think of buying. So people are very, you know, PlayStation ride or die, or Xbox ride or die,
or PC ride or die,
or PC ride or die at this point. But they want to fill that niche that no one, or that itch that no one is scratching, which was right in that sweet spot, that middle point where this is a plus, you know, this is an add-on to whatever else I'm doing. And it worked for them, because a lot of people that own either PlayStation or a Xbox buys a Nintendo Switch for that very reason, because it has that, you know, it's at a great price point, it has exclusive games, and it's something that you can not only dock and play on your TV, but also take with you wherever you might go, whether it be, commuting, you're on the plane, XYZ, anything that may come where you are not able to have your PlayStation, your Xbox, or your PC. They fill that niche, right? And Apple, going back to our initial point, Apple jumping into that space is gonna probably try to compete with them in some way, shape, or form. And I don't see the reason why other manufacturers like a Samsung might want to throw their hat into the game as well, to see where they stand and how they can probably benefit, or how they fare against competition like an Apple that's also getting into the game. And we were talking about it earlier before we started recording, how Google probably does not the best job of packaging, their
consolidating,
right, the things that they already have, like their YouTube Premium with YouTube TV and a YouTube Music account, right?
Yep.
So
I feel like you and I, they're leaving a lot of cards on the table.
Right, they're leaving a lot of stuff on the table. So where Apple has switched it up and pivoted a little bit, where they're saying, hey, we have all these things that we can bundle and sell to people. Maybe they only want Apple TV and Apple Music. We can bundle that and give it at a price point. Or they want, more storage in the cloud for their phone or whatnot. But they also want the added benefit, or Apple TV or some other, Apple item that they might want.
Hardware
or software.
Mainly right now, Apple is recognized, I feel like, by hardware and their services.
Well, there you go. That's the right thing. That's the right word. Services. That's what I was trying to remember. So the services are what's being bundled and being offered to people at different price points. Yes.
Yep.
So I think it's like they divvied up their services, and I think it's like three services. I think it's like a bottom tier, a mid tier, and a high tier, where it's like a family pack or something of that nature. And I think that an additional service, if they do go along with buying, like, say, EA Sports, right? They might want to bundle that with one of their other services, just to add more of a uniqueness and hey, this makes sense. Like, dollar for dollar, this makes more sense than if I had a Spotify that I have to pay, plus a Nintendo or a what have you, a PlayStation, right, or something of that nature. I have
Xbox,
everything,
service thingy.
I have all the services that I need and
Xbox
I want,
Gold,
right, on my phone, and my phone is big enough, and the display is, like, certainly it's beautiful. So why not just invest in this one item, in this hardware, and all the services I want and need are all in one, and I pay a phenomenal price for it, right? So this is where I see Apple winning a lot of times, because they think about it this way, and they package it and present it to you in such a way that you're like, oh, dope. Yeah, that's absolutely what I want, absolutely what I need, because I love Apple. I'm an Apple fanboy or Apple fangirl, and this is all I do.
Apple
and
ride or die.
Right, and I continuously upgrade to the latest and greatest from Apple, and I don't want to diverge to others or anything else. So for people that are in that,
to accommodate me.
Right,
me accommodate
and if
Apple.
they're in the Apple, and if people are in the Apple camp, that's great. That's what people will gravitate
That's what
towards.
Apple wants.
Yeah, and Apple is gonna be like, yes, of course. What? Please, just throw your money at us, and we'll solve your problems, right? So that's
basically.
So that's how I see them going about it, and I think it's pretty smart. From there, I do remember seeing how, besides the Apple News, I do kind of vaguely remember something else, technology wise. I don't know if it was like the semiconductors, semiconductors for chipsets. I think it was Microsoft going to adopt ARM for their next hardware. So they're just gonna go full ARM. And hey, bro, whatever Microsoft is thinking and brewing up, that hopefully it works out for them, because they're seeing how
powerful it's getting.
And they need to compete against Apple that's doing
hardware
their own
too,
their own silicon, right? And they have their own M1 chips,
or Google.
And Google needs to step their game up.
No, they already have their first version in-house chip too.
Yeah, but I look at it, or I hear about it, and it's like, does it really make waves like the M1
versus the M1? No, not really.
Right.
But that's also a lot of marketing. That hardware wise, obviously, what is it, like version 8 or something like that, or even version 8? Let's go. I think it's like already a double-digit version of the in-house silicon. So yes, versus version 1. Yeah, obviously.
No. As a person that has a little bit more of insight, and because we actually like looking into the things, we kind of could tell the difference. Yeah, no first iteration is going to compete with something that's already been
proven and tested
and worked through. Right? So you think about the person, the common person that just buys things because it's new, or
how do they say it in Spanish? Bueno, bonito, y barato.
Perhaps, but more of like, hey, I'll definitely try out the new Google Pixel phone because I heard pretty good things about it, right?
It's bad,
Yeah, they want to try something different, something new, something different from Apple, or different from Samsung, or different from any other manufacturer, and they'll say, I'll give Google a shot. I love YouTube, I love Google search, I love their cloud system, I love Gmail. Let's give it a try. Let's see how this goes.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored, absolutely. But
yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll try it out and say, you know what? I think it's good. I think there's still a couple of things that couple of kinks that need to get worked out. And,
obviously, yes.
Yeah, and they'll go if they like the experience enough, they'll give the second, third, and fourth iteration probably a shot, right? They might skip the second iteration and go and wait until maybe the third or fourth to see what they're about, and that might pick up traction. But as of right now, and to your point, Marcos, it might be marketing. But at the same time, it's like
the numbers don't lie.
Yeah, we can't compare a first iteration to something that's already been
proven in silicons, without a doubt. You like for example, just on phone hardware, Apple has had this thing since the iPhone 5, and Pixel has been coming out since 2018, 2017, I think, right? The first,
I think so.
When did the first Pixel come out?
Oof.
Let me see. Let me ask.
Question, bro.
Hey Google, when did the first Pixel first release?
Here is some information from the web that might possibly help. According to Wikipedia, Google Pixel is a brand of consumer electronic devices developed by Google that run either Chrome OS or the Android operating system. The Pixel brand was introduced in February 2013 with the first-generation Chromebook Pixel. The Pixel line includes laptops, tablets, and smartphones, as well as several accessories.
Oh, the smartphones, my bad.
And just a quick correction, it wasn't EA Sports, it's EA Games as a whole. Yeah.
Hey,
for the earlier comments.
When did the Pixel phone first release?
According to Wikipedia.org, they were officially announced on October 4th, 2016 at the Made by Google event and released in the United States on October 20th. Do you want a little more context?
No, thank you. It's listening.
Okay.
I have to be polite.
Yes.
But yeah, so imagine 2016 on hardware-wise, just on the phone comparison. iPhone's been just phones 2007 versus 2016. They got almost 10 years difference on them.
right. But if you remember, one of the, I guess the great things that were said about it, or something that was great about the Google Pixel phone, wasn't necessarily the hardware.
No,
the hardware was I guess you can say subpar.
It was
good for
passing.
what it was, right? For the price point. But I think the shining example there, or the thing that it was applauded for the most, was the actual software. Specifically speaking about the actual camera software, right? The photo software. They like that. It actually competed quite well compared to phones that cost double or even triple the price of
the hardware was mediocre. Was meh. It wasn't winning any awards. But the pictures,
right? The photo processing that
took the
Google
cake.
had. Oh my goodness!
You know why?
It's amazing.
I remember when I was working in one of my the fire prevention system job site, and there were techie guys also in the group of people. They're like, "Oh my God, have you heard about this new app? Has what?" I'm like, "What about it?" And they opened on the web browser. Google Photos is being announced. I'm like, what is this? And it was basically a service where you can just upload your photos, and brought to you by Google and security and all those things. And but best bet in the back end, they were acquiring data and all those things for processing images. So imagine that. A year before the phone came out, a full year, and it was compatible on iPhone. I had an iPhone 5, I think, back in those days. No, I think it was an iPhone, or it was the Nexus phone. I think it was.
Might have been the Nexus, no?
I think
was it the iPhone?
I think it was the iPhone 5, because my battery blew on that. I switched the battery on that and still used it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's an old phone when you could actually replace the actual battery.
Yeah, no, I didn't replace. I went to a store, and because my screen was was bloating. I'm like, why is my screen bloating? And I went to the place, and like, yeah, your battery blew. Oh,
that's crazy.
And they switched it out, and then my phone was working, and I was obviously uploading my pictures with Google Photos, because I don't know what the marketing they did. It was just more appealing than iCloud and all those things. Even though the hardware was native to Apple, the software backend, Magic, that I call Magic, is proprietary to Google, and they just worked on it, and give it a full year for the world and Android users too, for Google to scrape data and to get stronger. And then bada bing bada boom. Now imagine Google came out in '96, I think, and it had 10 years on software development and project management for software, 10 years even before then Mac came out in the 80s, I think, right? And they were giving services for computers and all those things, but they got very niche, if you will, onto their computers, versus Google was like, oh, you can put this on any computer. It's always been that competition between Apple and Mac, and
of course,
and Google. Google's like a software first, maybe probably in ads, and Apple's like, oh, we'll give you the whole cake. We'll start with the hardware and then bring in the software, the back end. You don't have to worry about the back end. Everything works. and then Google's like, oh, we don't got any hardware, but you can put it on anything. It's like what is it? I put that beep on everything. What's that?
Oh, right. Yes, the Frank's Red Hots.
Yeah, I put that bleep on everything. That's Google, basically. And Google, that's how it acquired its data, the rest is history. But that Silicon, going back to Silicon, it's its first version on its 6th phone. So they're trying to create that walled garden as well, like Apple is. But Apple's got years on it. It's like you're still a young kid. It's like the Hajime no Ippo anime.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's because Apple's constantly working on that, right? They want to control from top to bottom everything that goes into that piece of hardware, whether it be the actual components or the actual software, and even the systems that work inside the phone, right?
It's
so the services, it's services,
that's how it started. That's its selling point from the start.
Where Google is really good at, perhaps
in the air.
some of their services, right? And the reason, one of the highlights or the biggest reasons why that software, that photo processing or picture processing worked so well with the Pixel phone is because it was made especially or exclusively for that, and nothing else, no one else. And they must have had a crack team right there working nonstop to get that just right.
Crowdsource it.
Dude, and obviously it was optimized for that phone. That's why
nowadays undoubtedly it is.
Yeah, and you would think, well, it's going to be better in the next phones. Well, unfortunately, whoever
the hardware wasn't on Pixel.
Yeah, whoever was in charge, whoever was in charge of the direction of the later iterations of the Pixel, right? Pixel phones. It's kind of lost its luster and allure because it's like we want better than what we had previously. And
wait, on which version? Version 2?
Yeah, after after 2, yeah, I think it was, right? Or I believe it was either after 2 or after 3.
Its hype died down, but it had its loyal customer base just for sale.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Selling like phone hardware, it wasn't doing too well. It was probably number 4 or number 5.
Because you definitely have the purists that are diehard,
ride or dies,
right? And they wanted the bare bones Android experience that didn't want any bloatware that you would probably get on a Samsung or any other Android phone. And I get that. You get a snappier phone with less animations. You had stock Android, and it was, great for people that love that type of operating system.
Or for the parents that, like the tech guys like you and I, like, okay, here, mom, you can have this. This is easy.
Yeah, I mean, and there'll be a debate. There's people that love the interface and the way the way you can operate a Apple phone or an iPhone, because it's a lot. People think or have that feeling that it's a lot simpler. There's less widgets and less complications of how to go about getting from your phone to your calculator or to your calendar. So
launching the camera. Who did that? The double tap the power button to launch the camera.
I think that was Apple, but I could be mistaken. It might have been Samsung, or it might have been Google.
That shortcut is unanimous in all smartphones.
Well, I remember what was it?
Should I ask?
The shake? You could if you like.
Hey Google. Who developed the double press power button to launch the camera app on smartphone?
Sorry, I don't have any information.
Oh, I know it. It doesn't want to release its sauce. It wasn't like no sauce. Continue. I'll do some typing over here. I'll listen.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, but I think those are the type of things that we see, and it's like, okay, now people kind of get into their head about what camp they want to be in, and that's great and all. But obviously, right now, as far as like another piece of information that I also saw from Max Tech was how the M2 chip is basically getting delayed because of whatever situation of not being able to produce them, right? And that's obviously going to be a problem for whatever hardware that Apple is going to try to make and try to sell to us or the consumer, because they don't have enough chipsets, or they don't have what they need to make them, produce them and put them into their new hardware, whether it be phones or computers or whatnot, right? So that we'll see for this next half of the year, and potentially next year, we'll see how things go. What else do I remember from these last 2 weeks? Dude, I mean, I could definitely try to think of other things that we can probably talk about. But I mean, what do you want to talk about Marcos, you want to talk about watches? You want to talk about finance? You want to talk about grocery stores, or how
let's talk about anime.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
I'm going in, Alan. I'm going in.
One more thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the
やれやれだぜ。
Like you cut, G.
Excellent. Yes.
So, what have you been watching?
To be quite honest, I've only watched like the first episode, the first and second episode of what's this called? Something Shikiri is not so much of a cutie or something like that. I forgot the name.
The one with the girlfriend, right? It's not about isekaiing, it's about the school life, right?
No, it's that slice of life type of show. I saw like the first 2 episodes. I kind of stopped watching that to try to like see if I can stack them a little bit more. And then another one I did start seeing was what's the name of this? Oh yes, The Shield Hero. But I rewatched.
Yes.
I rewatched all of the first season and whatnot, so I haven't even started watching the new season. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. As far as like the other shows, like the Dawn of the Witch, or what's it called? What's another the Spy X Family?
Yep.
I haven't started watching that one either. Because again, I wanted to stack it. I don't know if you finished watching what's it called, 86, but I finished 86.
What do you think?
It was pretty dope, bro. Like that's one of like the most underrated I think shows of its season when it came out. I think it's really well made, like well paced. I think the voice acting and the visuals were spectacular. I think the sense of urgency of what they were doing it's really well communicated through the anime. And like you get a sense of like, dang, these people, you know,
They be struggling.
they went through some ish and they got
And
to
back,
where
yeah.
and back, and they did their thing. But I thought it was overall it was a well-rounded story, a great storytelling through the anime, and I highly recommend it. There might be people that might think it's a little niche, but I think it's really well made.
It's anime. Anime is a niche in general, so compared to entertainment media, but it's growing. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
I think more because I think it was produced by Sunrise, and obviously Sunrise.
You know who did Sunrise?
Yeah, so basically it's like a very Gundam-esque type of like feel. But the things, exactly, spot on, bro, right on the head. And I think that they did incorporate some of those tones, but I think what was very interesting about it is that they didn't exclusively kind of like just not only acknowledge or get caught up into the mechanics of the actual robots in the show, but they fleshed out more of the politics and even like the fleshing out of the individual characters. Like you really feel for each of these characters and kind of like say, wow, each of them have, you know, a personality, character development, and a real story behind a lot of these people. And it's like, wow, it really grasps at or tugs at your heartstrings and like really kind of pulls you in, so you actually see the story develop into something that you're like, damn, I'm really rooting for, you know, the main character. I really think that the country
struggles.
they're the country that they're in are, you know, real pieces of garbage, and you know, they might deserve what happens to them. And you know, I'm not gonna try to spoil, but you know, you see like the downfall, the uprising, and even, you know, what happens in the middle or the end of the actual season, which again, I think it culminates with a beautiful ending that really hits you in the feels, and you're like, damn, bro, when is season 2 coming out, man? So that's how I feel about that one.
Okay.
Skeleton Knight and Another World. I'm gonna start watching that today, Memorial Day weekend. You know, shout outs to, you know, all our brave soldiers from the States. You know, the great United States of America. We want to thank you for your service. For those that listen to us, thank you. We appreciate you. And yeah, man, so I'm probably gonna do that this weekend. What's it called? The Greatest Demon Lord is What Reborn as a Typical Nobody is something that I'm probably gonna watch as well. Trapped in a Dating Sim, I don't know if that's good, but I'm probably gonna give it a go.
Like everything, your style.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure a lot of these already have maybe 5 episodes or more in. So I'm gonna start, you know, just systematically
waiting for the Bleach release,
busting them down. Yup. And The Dawn of the Witch again. That's another one I'm probably gonna start watching. Same as Kaguya-sama. I think, what is this, the 3rd season? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah,
season 3.
What is it? Komi-san also has the 2nd season out now, right? A couple of Cuckoos. I'm definitely gonna have to watch Ranking of Kings, because I haven't watched it and I heard it was really good. And okay, so the title of the first one I mentioned, Shikimori is Not Just a Cutie. Yeah, that I watched 2 episodes of, and again, I'm probably gonna have to rewatch maybe the first 2 episodes to get my bearings on where the story is going. And because it's a slice of life, maybe it's not as fast paced as other shows that are like, you know, more action heavy. So I'm gonna give it a second chance. The other one that I think, who was it? I don't know if it was Josue or my brother that mentioned it to me, that was similar to Komi Can't Communicate, which is Aharin San wa Hakara Nai. So basically this character that doesn't speak very much, and I don't know if it's her boyfriend or just a friend that kind of like helps her out. So that might be interesting. Other than that, bro, I don't know. Again, I'm definitely gonna watch that Spy X Family. And
Spy X Family is calling to me.
Yeah, that I've definitely gotta give it a watch just to get on top of that one. And I don't know, I might rewatch some of these classics I'm seeing on.
May I recommend you one?
Yeah, definitely go ahead.
I don't know where you can find this on the Sunrise Studio. Gundam 00.
Oh, 00? Yeah. Okay, definitely. I was actually thinking about rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes, that one's pretty good. It also gets in the feels.
Yes, definitely. And definitely.
What is your opinion about rewatching anime? Just, you know, would you rewatch it dubbed or subbed?
It kind of depends. Like if I'm gonna like do some sort of work on my laptop, like I'll have the TV on Crunchyroll, and I'll like say I'll rewatch maybe like the Cell Saga or the Majin Buu Saga, and I'll do it in English, right? And that's because I think Crunchyroll only offers in English Dragon Ball Z.
Z or Super? Yeah, I was gonna.
Z. Yeah, Z. And there are other shows that if they have like the English dub, so that way I can kind of like listen to it and
I'd recommend the Faraway Paladin in dub.
Yeah, so I'll rewatch some certain ones like that. I won't have like 100% of my attention on it. Like I'll definitely rewatch it in dub for the most part. But like if I'm gonna watch something like that, I'll have more of my like 100% of my attention on. I'll definitely probably gravitate more towards the Japanese original. So
I like how you come in so like Japanese original. Amen.
Yeah. I'll do it that way if I'm gonna watch it. Like if I'm gonna actually sit down and watch the show. Like I'll do it in Japanese, right?
Yep.
With that in mind, if I'm going to actually work on something else or do something else, but I want to kind of rewatch something or just have something in the background, I'll put like whatever show that I've watched previously that has an English dub and just play it from the beginning and keep doing what I have to do and
support an economy, if you will.
No, I'll rewatch it. I'll rewatch it in English dub. So and obviously there'll be some things where I'll be like, hey, that's some really good voice acting in English. I think that's really good. And then there'll be times where I'm like, I'll stop just to be like, okay. I mean, positive critique. Maybe they could have done a little bit better in this part, but I mean,
it's because the OG. That's why you can critique. You know it. You know the sauce.
Yeah, and maybe the translation might differ a little bit because it doesn't quite get translated, verbatim, but it gets translated in such a way that it makes sense when it gets for English listeners and stuff like that. To make a little bit make it more sense to them, I guess.
What I'm curious is that now that Crunchyroll, is big man on deck on the park, if you will, the big boy,
right?
It also accommodates with other languages. Have you thought about listening in Spanish or in? I mean, obviously we can understand Spanish. Have you thought about listening to the Spanish dub?
Well, I think, yeah. And I've heard, like, I remember listening of a couple of episodes of like,
I feel like for nostalgia, the Dragon Ball Z Spanish.
Well, I would agree with you that it has that nostalgia aspect to it. That's why I can't pick that one as a clean canvas or like a starting point to give a positive or a negative or ultimately a critique, if you will. A good critique, because I have that bias towards this is my childhood in a different language, obviously, because I did watch both English and Spanish Dragon Ball Z, just because whatever was available, that's what I watched. But just to give you more of unbiased perspective, I've watched a couple of episodes of Strike the Blood in Spanish.
Strike the Blood. Is that the Vampire Hunter one?
It's a vampire one, yeah. But
I keep confused with Blood Sea.
Different. But Strike the Blood in Spanish sounds pretty good, but again, in my mind, when I'm listening to it, I kind of get that sensation of like it's on par with English dubbing. So it's not that it's not spectacular in some parts where they have emotion, and it comes off as emotional when they need to be, or funny, and obviously it has that different twang because when they're funny in Spanish, it comes off it rolls off the tongue a little differently with what they say or how they say it, just because the words because the words have a differing weight to them in different languages. So I would say that it's interesting to listen to it in a third language other than Japanese and English. So it does come off a little bit like, oh, this part sounded a little bit better than it did in English. But in English, this part sounds a lot better to me in my ear when I'm listening to it than when I heard it in Spanish. So I do have that, okay, this part sounds awesome, this part sounds awesome in this language, and this one might need a little more work, perhaps from either the voice acting aspect or even the translation part of it. So it's something to think about for those that speak more than
one language. Let me just also elaborate with you.
Yeah, sure.
Specifically, Strike the Blood, right? First released in October of 2013.
Right.
So it's almost 10 years.
Yeah, definitely. Which they have their their anniversary's coming up. I was watching a live stream on
Nice.
on YouTube.
I'm excited.
They had all the voice actresses, the main
Japanese one?
girls. Yeah,
Yeah.
the main girls, and very cute. Very animated when they were speaking on
Oh,
YouTube.
they got their tenure, man. They gotta be up there.
And
the grades. Let me give you the grades online.
oh yeah,
My anime list gave it a 7.1 out of 10.
okay.
IMDb gave it a 7 out of 10. Guess how much Crunchyroll gave it?
I don't know.
In the scale of 5.
Maybe a 3 or 4.
3.9 out of 5.
Okay.
Almost
It's
the
not
same. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that has to do with maybe like
And Google users give it an 89% out of 100.
yeah. I think it's because it's more of a more adult than usual, because it's not necessarily I guess a pure shonen play as far as anime go. It's more of a I don't know, genre wise, maybe like romantic mixed with like edgy harem, plus
Yes.
they have
all my favorite tags. No, you said
right. Plus they have like that gory aspect of like
what? Huh?
not
No, it's
maybe perhaps not gory, but if you
Rated
consider if you consider yeah, because if you consider vampires sucking blood from a girl's neck, like a little bit more of on the risque side, like maybe not the first thing you want your kiddos watching if you have kids.
What was the name of that? The Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt vampire movie?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just forgot the name about it. Like I don't. With a vampire?
It's maybe. Yeah, it's almost like that, but it's.
But isn't that Hugh Jackman? No, or
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you the cast right now. With the vampire is Annie Rice, Annie Rice, Tom Cruise,
okay,
Crucitos, if you will,
right?
Brad Pitt, with his Maverick movie, the Top Gun 2.
Yes. Wait,
yeah.
Wasn't Tom Cruise with the?
Yeah, Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yeah. Not Brad Pitt.
Kristen Dunst. What? Kristen Dunst.
Okay.
Christian Slater, and so on and so forth. But yeah, that one's a rated R.
Oh, really?
And it's a book originally by a lady in LA in the 70s about her girl dying, and in the 70s, and writing about wishing that her girl became immortal. But it's an anime. If you read the book, they say it's way better than the movie.
Okay, I mean, yeah, a lot of things are like that as well.
And the book is a lot more, explicit. A lot of
yes, I can imagine
sexual, like 50 Shades of Grey kind of book.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, but again, a lot of people
versus Strike the Blood.
Yeah, but again, the aspect of a character sucking blood out of another character's neck, maybe the fighting aspect of it.
Kinky, I guess.
Yeah, of course. They'll have those type of things. And like the pseudo type of sexual nuances that go on in the actual show might, like,
the maturity, if you will.
Yeah, the maturity of how they go about,
female empowerment.
No, more like the innuendos that they kind of like they express, and how they go about it, right? Like they nonchalantly like kind of like say it, and the automatic response.
In this anime?
Not that that I could remember, but I could maybe I didn't really, like, I'm so desensitized
because it's
those words sometimes.
You already, like, this isn't your first time watching. It's like your fifth, I think, or fourth.
I want to say like the third or fourth, something fourth, like that. Yeah. But again, watching it in different languages kind of like takes that like I guess repetitiveness of it, where I'm like kind of rewatching it for the first time because it's a different language. And basically I don't quite remember if they had like, crazy cursing in it, but I mean, there is, strong language and, adult, things going on in the show. But again, because it's still an anime, I think they try to steer clear of like definitely like making it into, or crossing that line of making into some sort of like hardcore like hentai type of anime or whatever.
50 Shades Grey or Twilight.
Right. I guess you can say it has that like Twilight characteristics, but you know, mix in other type of paranormal type of monsters and stuff like that. Other undertones of like high school life that you don't really get to see in those type of movies with
Interview with the Vampire, definitely not.
No, because I mean it has those aspects or that type of like flavor of vampire, but it has I think it has a different outlook story wise, where it's like it's trying to get from point A to point B, and it's a different type of story.
It's not, if you will, the center of it. It's used as an instrument too.
Right, it's like a prop that is being used.
It's not the end all be all.
Exactly.
Versus like in Twilight, it's like, oh, I'm a vampire. And
right. A vegan vampire, right? From a family of vegan vampires.
The story rotates about accommodating and living with a vampire.
Yeah, because ultimately that's not the end all be all for Strike the Blood as the actual premise of the story. That's just the prop, or just something that effectively puts him in a space or a situation where
there you go. The world.
Because of that aspect that he became a progenitor or whatever, the vampire. Everything else unfolds story wise because of that first action, and
it's like remember this other anime, the one with the girl, the blonde hair girl. That's a little girl. What's her name? Monogatari.
Okay,
the Monogatari series.
Okay, the Monogatari series. Okay.
Yeah. Like the vampire thing is not the end all be all.
Right, it's just used as a device, right? Like a plot device to forward the story. Yeah, no, like definitely.
I'm a vampire. I have superpowers. I'm Batman. So I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, because again, like you could make those type of comparisons between
Strike the Blood and
Twilight, but you'll get other aspects of it that to a certain extent might make it cheesy and corny for certain things, like maybe the catchphrase that Yukina makes like right before they start fighting, and you'll get that kind of like same typical power up, like you get to a point where you can't do anything else, or the main character can't kind of muscle through it completely, so he has to turn around. Yeah, he turns around and looks at the closest girl next to him and says, "Hey, come here. Do you mind? Yeah, come here. Do you mind if I, suck some blood from your neck?" And the girl kind of obliges and says, "Yeah, you know what?
Consent."
I don't want you to die because I like you. I don't want to die because, I kind of, like myself. And let's see what we can do once you suck my blood. Maybe
I feel like he puts her hands together. Let's see what we can work out.
Yeah, let's negotiate a little bit, And again, might be a little corny for some people. It might be something that, is entertaining.
Some people would be saying, cruz.
And those are the type of things that, again, you see that show and you go from one language to another, and you'll see it in a different way or different light because of the language. But there's parts where you kind of, like, in my case, I start laughing because, like, it's just silly. It's like turn off your brain silly. And there's other aspects of it where it's like, okay, that's a good, like, plot device, or the way the story kind of unfolds. You kind of want to see where it ends up, or there'll be like Easter eggs type of things that something happened in this episode and it shows up much later, where it's like, oh wow, again they introduced a character in the beginning of the season, and then that same character shows up like later, or there's a backstory and they have to flesh that out. World building, and those are I think it's pretty interesting because of that, because I don't know if it's originally a light novel or whatnot, but
I'll tell you right now.
And I think it's like one of those things that it's gonna get, that, what is it, 4th, 5th season? I don't even remember anymore. But point being that that's one of those shows that if I want to put it in, or I've seen in Spanish, like not the whole season or series, but a couple episodes in Spanish, and it kind of grabs your attention because you're like, okay, yeah, I kind of remember that episode, and okay, it sounds different in that language, and okay, the nuance or the connotation of certain things for the certain story that it's explaining that in that particular episode, it kind of goes, it makes you go, at least for me, oh, okay, interesting, okay, good voice acting, or okay, this was a little different in Japanese or a little different in English, but again, entertaining, at least for me. So I mean, there might be other shows that I might want to do that with. Certainly there's things that I'm probably going to do that just to say, hey, why not watch Black Clover in Spanish?
I couldn't find this stuff. I only found the release dates and all those things. May I recommend Welcome to the Vampire Bund?
Okay.
That one's also about vampires.
I was thinking about rewatching Freezing Vibration, or Freezing and then Freezing Vibration.
Season 1's pretty good with the prim and proper lady. Not, but
Sterilizer, I think.
Yeah, Satellizer.
There you go.
Sterilizer.
I was like, oh damn.
Codename Purell.
Oh man, yeah. So I think
that's a good one. That's a good one too.
Yeah, that might be something I might want to watch.
But the Welcome to the Vampire Bund is also
language.
There you go. Okay, there you go. That premise is good. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if they have English or Spanish, that I might want to rewatch Makenki.
Oh,
in Spanish or in English.
There's some stuff.
Just to basically, talk to you about it. Be like, hey, episode, I don't know, 5 is like, remember this part in Spanish? It sounds a lot better, Marcos.
What you
might want to watch it.
I don't know the name of this guy, but he's been on he's not the voice actor for Piccolo in English.
Okay.
But there's the other guy that's the voice actor for Whis in dub for the Angel. In Dragon Ball Super, he's been in a lot of things. I've observed my personal taste. I don't know what it is, like whatever he's been on, not as a main character, as whatever, like any kind of character that he's on. I generally tend to like the anime. Like his voice lends himself to be more energetic, or like that kind of, I want to say shonen, and all those like funny. Like, not that much serious, but more towards a funny, entertaining when it's dubbed. So
yeah, definitely.
And then the voice actor for Piccolo, his depth, if you will, it lends itself for more like serious anime. Even though it's ecchi, all those tags are there in high school and all those things, but it's more towards serious roles that he has. Meanwhile, the other guy, the voice for Whis, he's like more lighthearted, kind of funny, like that kind of like, I don't know. I can't represent it. And the directors really, shine and picking their voice actors. And obviously they also do that in Japanese, but in the language that I better can pick it up easier is in the English.
Of course.
And then what else? For me, anime that I'm gonna go back to watch is the Great Teacher, the world's something disciple. What was it? The world's
greatest
strongest
disciple.
Kenichi, there you go.
Yes.
That one I want to go rewatch again, at least for the third time at least.
Okay.
What else? My youngest brother Misa finished Evangelion. I'm like, oh no, I've been slacking with Eva.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Have you seen that one?
That one I haven't watched. I can't say I have, but I'm probably gonna watch that as well, just to say that, hey, it's another notch in the belt, right?
He says he's seen 86 and he's like, it reminds him a lot of 86, but it's more towards centered around one individual. I'm like, oh. And he says, once you hear the theme song, he says it makes him tear up, like his heart, like, oh no, the feelings. He says, like now he feels it with Fairy Tail, with Evangelion, what other song? I forgot what other, but mainly Eva. And I'd share them the dub version because he's been listening to the Japanese version of Evangelion.
Yes.
And he listens to the dub like, the anime is described right there in the song. What? Yeah. it gives it away once he listened to the English cover.
Okay.
What Leon Lee? What's the name of that girl?
Leon Lee?
The girl that does the dubbing for My Dress Up Darling.
I don't remember the names.
I forgot her name.
Those individuals, yeah.
But she's a singer, and she for a while had covers on YouTube for different animes.
Oh, okay.
One of them being Evangelion. And once you listen to the dubbing, he's like, "Oh my god, the song is just a giveaway for the entire show." I'm like, really?
That's her.
No, not that's her. That's the premise of the anime right there.
Oh, I see. They kind of break down the actual premise of the anime through the song.
The name of the song is A Cruel Angel's Thesis. If I play it, we're gonna definitely get copyrighted straight off the bat on YouTube.
Yeah, let's try not to do that.
But yeah, I recommend you to listen to it on whatever player that you want to listen to it. May that be the Japanese
definitely.
one. It's just in music wise, like anime is like I'm finding my passion a lot more with songs, like singers specifically. Like you taught me about the Yui. What's the name of the singer that you used to follow?
I don't know. There's quite a few actually.
I forgot her name, but the one that you said they got married. Like, no, she got married.
Oh, you mean Lisa?
Yeah. You taught me like different songs about her. You showed me back in the day, and I'm like, okay. And then for me, it's been more towards
Wait, are you sure we're talking about Lisa or
someone else? I don't even remember. I feel bad for not remembering the name of the singer. But the one that I shared you recently that I was playing before we recorded, I try to listen to her playlist. She has different songs. I'm like, I like this song. I like this song. This lady knows how to sing. She's been putting songs for a while now. And I'm like, okay.
Yes. But that makes sense. I mean, if they convey that type of like sensation and feeling through the song that they're singing.
What's made first? That's the song or the anime? That's my question.
Well, for the most part, I think a lot of times, and again, I could be wrong. A lot of times, like say they have like LPs, or people that are in the music industry have LPs or full, CDs with songs that they have, right? And they don't probably go into it thinking, oh, this song is going to be a great anime opening or ending, but they have it as part of their repertoire and their catalog of songs on their body of work. And I'm pretty sure people in the anime industry go along and probably have a selection, right, of artists that sing, and they go through it like, okay, we want to convey this type of feeling for this anime for the opening, and they probably have like, I don't know, maybe general words that they pick from a hat, or not a hat, but like they pick that go along with the theme of the actual show, and say, all right, we need a song that talks about, perseverance, or a song about heartache, or a song about life as a kid, or whatever the case in high school, whatever the case is. And then they look through catalog of like different artists, Gate,
like the anime for the isekai with the one with the what was the name of this kid that was an elf, a ninja girl, and the knight that we used to follow, you and I, that they got stuck on the other what was the name of this one?
I don't remember that one.
Log Horizon.
Oh, yes.
That anime song.
Right. So they'll be like, all right, so let's go with a song that kind of embodies getting stuck in a digital world, right?
Digimon.
Right. So they'll go probably, they might do something of that nature, right? And they'll think about it and say, hey, this artist came out with the song maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, or this artist is getting popular or is popular, and they'll go through their catalog and it's like, does this embody the opening of this show, or might be potentially an artist that can go along with this anime? And it might work, it might not. Like, we see how that kind of pushes and catapults a lot of these artists into like not only
recognition, yeah,
not only in Japan but like worldwide, globally.
That's more recently though. That's more recently. Like look at Pokemon, they didn't stay with the Japanese one, or Yu-Gi-Oh.
Remember, that's 90s though. That's when they had a different kind of structure of
marketing, if you will.
when they got licensed over to the US by whether it be Funimation or
something Coast, something Sunshine Coast or something like that,
right? So they basically said, well, we
can license the anime but not the songs.
Well, not only that, but it's like people are not going to understand a different language, especially if they're kind of like licensing the IPs for kids. They're like, kids barely know how to speak the English. Why the hell are we gonna start the show with a language they don't even know about, right? So again,
look at Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, right. You pick whatever 90s show, right? Anime show that got licensed, right? Whether it be Dragon Ball Z, whether it be Sailor Moon, whether it be Metabots, Mega Man, Sonic, or whatever. Whatever. Power Rangers. Saban was, notorious about grabbing stuff from Japan, Americanizing it. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all of that, and then putting
that also
their
gave
own
stardom
American twist
to the American singers too.
I guess, but have you ever heard of the guy that did the Pokemon intro?
After that, else? No. I'm like, he has a discography and I feel bad, but no.
Right, or what about the Sailor Moon one? The person that sung?
No.
I mean, it was pretty catchy, right?
That was their goal, to be catchy.
Yeah.
They made it catchy. Oh, Dragon Ball Z singer, the Dragon Ball Z band.
Yeah, the band, right? What other
the Naruto one?
Songs
the 90s one?
Right. What other songs of note have they produced, right? That you could say, oh, you know what? Where...
For my taste, at least.
Yeah, and of course, anybody in the 90s probably thought it was dope, but at the same time, it's like you grow up and you listen to it, you're like, you look at it with nostalgia, or you listen to it with nostalgia, but you don't say, oh, that's going to be on my playlist on Spotify when I go down the road.
Pokemon is on my playlist, the original. Only the original.
Oh,
the first
I see.
One. Only the first one.
Okay. Yeah, but for the most part, you're probably more in tune with putting like a Lisa on your playlist.
Yes, and then or what was the other one? Ghost in the Shell.
Okay, yeah. I don't know every single artist that does.
No, I don't even know them. Yeah,
well, like you'll do like maybe Scandal from like when you heard Bleach, right? Or you'll do maybe what's
Red
it called?
Rover? No. Specifically a band. Guess Who's Back for a season of Black Clover. The band itself, yeah.
Right, so you'll listen to people like that from
because it reminded me of Linkin Park, because that's when I was in middle school I got my band taste, more or less.
Right, so you'll listen to people like SID, right, or Sid, or you'll listen to Scandal or Lisa, or you'll listen to
again for Metal Alchemist, Brother.
Right, you'll listen to all these bands, because a lot of them are bands, because a lot of these intros are like not only pop, but they'll be like J-rock, Japanese rock. So you'll listen to a lot of these Kanaboon, right?
Or what is this one? The Bakano song. It's like jazzy, or the Tank from Cowboy Bebop.
I remember an outro, right, an ending from Fairy Tail that I really enjoyed from One Life Crew, which was like very. They had like this nice, maybe it was a riff with the saxophone, a little playful saxophone in there, and like to me that was the shit. Like that was it, bro. I was like, yes, that's a song I want to put on repeat.
You repeat. There you go. You got it. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, that was dope. Like, to me, I thought it was like, yo, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I was like, yeah, this is fire. I want to continuously hear that. And there's a lot of songs from other artists or bands that maybe I don't know their names, like as far as like maybe their whole body of work or catalog, but there's a lot of songs that they produce that perhaps they weren't for anime, but it was because they enjoyed making music, and they have a LP or whatnot, and they have bangers that you would consider bangers, and you're like, yeah, I'll listen to that, no problem. Have no problem. I don't know the name. I don't even know what the hell they're saying sometimes, or for the most part.
Their names in another language. It don't matter.
Right. And again, all you really know is that, yo, this sounds fire, and I want to keep listening to that, right? And they have that uniqueness that, of course, different language, but also whatever they convey through the music, you enjoy it. Yeah, you enjoy it, and you want to listen to it. And I think a lot of times when they're selecting or choosing songs for a particular anime, they'll go through the catalog and say, you know what, this one would work or fits well with this opening or for the ending of this show. And I think it's great because it gives that great like little flavor or twist to the actual overall experience of when you watch a show. And I mean, there are going to be those people that skip right through it and don't want to get to the meat and potatoes of the actual show, which is dope. Okay, cool. I
can respect that.
Yeah, I understand. But you know, one more time for old time's sake, let's listen to that opening, right? Or let's listen to that ending, because the credits are important. You want to also listen to the ending and opening, because there might be bits of information or a song or like
Evangelion.
There are people that they mention in the credits that help produce what you're watching, and
give them some respect.
Yeah, give them some shine.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
Yeah, bro.
I think,
yeah. You want to call it
there? Yeah. And that's our water cooler talk out of office, guys.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
This is Marcos, okay?
And this is Alan.
Thank you, guys. Don't forget to follow us on our social medias and all those things. And I'll keep you guys posted. And Alan always does on the Instagram. I do the Twitter stuff.
We're trying out here. We're trying out here.
We're not. Don't expect greatness. It's just us doing.
Not yet.
And basically, and talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, guys. Peace.